Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, the podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
Right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
Karen, what is this episode going to be about?
We're going to talk about Gojira at the venue.
Yes. This is the Mega Monsters Tour 2023, co-headlined by Gojira and Mastodon.
Yes.
With, I'm going to fuck up this name, I always do, I don't know why, Lorna Shore?
Lorna Shore.
Lorna Shore, okay. I don't know why I can't say that, but
you called him like Lena or something, I think, last night.
Lauren, yeah, I don't know. I always fuck that up.
It's okay.
This was on August 25th at the venue, as you said.
Yes.
The venue is in Hammond, Illinois, in the Horseshoe Casino.
Yes.
So it's just what they call it, the venue, which is kind of cool.
It is cool, yeah, because like it's at the casino, but then it's at the venue at the casino.
Yep.
So
kind of cool. Our first time here at this venue.
Yeah, which I'm surprised, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's so close.
It is very close. Like, getting there was super fucking easy.
I mean, granted, we've only owned a car for 2 years, so
yeah,
that is part of it, but...
It sounds like there's shuttles that go to the casinos from Chicago.
Is it this casino, though?
I'm sure it's all of them. They all have probably services that will shuttle you.
Probably.
Or
we could just buy a boat.
Or we could just buy a boat.
Because the casino is on a harbor, so we could just buy a boat and park it in the harbor.
Yeah, we got our parking spot in like one of the parking garages, and that was kind of cool to see that they had this little marina that you could pull your boat up to, and it's right on Michigan. So I'm assuming right on Michigan.
Like Lake Michigan?
Yeah, that's what I meant. But I don't know if it was inland a little bit that you had to take like a little river or channel type thing in.
Yeah.
Or if it was actually right on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice that. I noticed Chicago skyline from down there.
Yeah, that was cool. I know that we can see Indiana from here every once in a while, but I didn't notice that you could see Chicago skyline. So I mean, it was like hazy, but you could see it.
So like, I'm assuming if you have a boat, you can just take that down, which maybe would have made the trip a lot quicker, a lot more fun and enjoyable potentially.
Maybe. A lot more expensive.
Yeah, you'd have to have a boat, yeah. Any case, first time there, it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Have you ever actually seen a show in a casino, though?
I have not. You have.
I saw Nine Inch Nails in 2017, 2016, somewhere in there.
Probably 2017.
2018, maybe even. I don't know.
Was it 2018?
Yeah. Anyway, I saw Nine Inch Nails at a Hard Rock in Vegas. Fun, interesting little experience that was. And yeah, this one was a good experience too. The casino is a casino.
Is it?
Yeah. If you've never been to a casino, you think they might be really large, like the gaming spaces. And to some extent they are pretty big, but they're actually really small also.
Yeah, like these casinos are. Like if you go to Vegas or whatever, those are huge.
I don't know. I still think those are small.
I think they're huge.
Really?
And like, well, maybe it's just because like you're walking between each one, so it seems like they just keep going and going. But I feel like this one was so much easier to get around and know where you were going compared to like a Vegas casino where they're built that way so that you have to walk through the machines, you put money in the machines, blah, blah, blah.
They're built to be a labyrinth for sure.
Yeah.
You need to go to the bathroom, you have to walk through a mile of machines to get there.
And I guess that's how I felt like Vegas always is. I mean, a lot of them, especially on the strip bar, is like they're just vast like that. Where this one was, okay, the food's right here, like the bathroom's right here, the floor's right here, the venue's right there. Like it I didn't feel like it was that large.
I gotcha. I guess my thing is when you go to Vegas, I always imagine it being much larger and grander because it's like the gambling capital of the world type thing. But the gaming space that there actually is much smaller than I would anticipate for how much money and revenue they bring in. But this isn't a conversation about casinos at all. I'm just bringing that up because this wasn't a casino. And as you said, it's a labyrinth. So when you go through the entrance, you have to walk past all the table games, all the slot machines, the sports gambling section.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Before you get to the stairwell that takes you up to the venue for the show.
Yep.
Showed up a little early, kind of wandered the floor a little bit, gambled just a little bit, and then got some food as well. Because, I mean, it's a casino. We expected it to have a food court or at least some sort of restaurant.
Yeah, something, yeah.
And they had a food court. We got a cheeseburger that was kind of shitty.
Yeah, it was horrible for a lot of money.
$20 for a cheeseburger and fries.
Yeah.
And a soda, which there was free soda.
We didn't know that. Yeah.
Along the wall of the bathroom, there was like a free soda fountain that you could have just walk up to and got. But $20 for that cheeseburger, and I think you mentioned it was like a high school cheeseburger or something.
Yeah. It wasn't. If you go to Horseshoe Casino, just don't buy the cheeseburger.
Yeah, the cheeseburger. We didn't try the chicken tenders. They had that there too. They had like a pulled pork sandwich.
Yeah. I don't know.
But that was the only restaurant they had, which was really shocking to me.
Well, there was a steakhouse.
Oh,
off
you
to
said
the side.
that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So there is a steakhouse, and then I wonder if there's a buffet. I feel like there's always a buffet.
I think that's it. That's
like
it. Food court area. Yeah.
They're building a restaurant.
But on the stairs going up to the venue, it looked like they were building a new restaurant.
Yeah.
So when we go back again, hopefully that's done. We can check that out for sure.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the main floor as you get into the venue of the venue. You go up and you're in this like little ballroom type area. Ticket office is right over there. You can go get your tickets.
I would consider it like a conference hall.
That's what I meant by ballroom. Yeah, conference hall.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
But then the weird thing is you get a wristband at the tables before you go into the like security area of the venue. I keep saying the venue, but I meant like the venue is the name, so this is going to get really confusing potentially.
The stage before you go into the floor for the stage.
There we go, the floor. Yeah.
But the floor could mean the casino floor.
See, yeah, this is weird. It's a cool
Anyways,
name.
Yeah.
Well, it's a name. So you get your wristband, then you go. You have to scan your ticket to get your wristband.
Yep.
Then you go through security, a metal detector, which is weird to some extent. I felt like this was a very secure venue, and I felt like this was a very secure location to have a concert because you're in a casino. I doubt people are bringing like guns and shit into the casino floor, because if you are, you're trying to like rob the casino. But in any case, and then you go into another security thing. You don't get wand down or scan down or anything going into the main floor of the casino, the gambling floor. But then you have to go through a metal detector. Or did we go through a metal detector? Yeah, we did.
Before going in?
Yeah, because it was wanded metal detectors.
Yeah, before going into the show.
Yes.
But I'm trying to think when we went through the first guy downstairs.
Nope, because he asked us, are you over the age of 30 or like 35 or something? We're like, yes.
Oh, he asked the year of birth. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, yeah, and then we just go straight in.
Yeah.
But anyway, you go through the security pretty quick and easy, painless. You have to scan your ticket again to get into the main staging area. And then you're sort of in the back where there's this walkway. There's concessions, there's restrooms, and that's where the merch was. Stop picked up our merch because we asked, is there re-entry? And they said, yes. Sweet. We grabbed our merch, ran it out to the car. I did. You stayed in.
Yeah. Well, and I was like, it would be beneficial for the casino for you to be able to walk in and out of the show.
Yeah.
So it is really, because we talked about it when we were on the casino floor. We were like, oh, I wonder if you can get merch and take it to the car. Because we actually love doing that. We've done it at a couple venues, but not very many. And so I was like, it'd be beneficial for them to have that for the casino, to have that rule, because then people, like, say in between bands, I don't think people did this, but you could go downstairs, gamble, and then go upstairs or go get the other beer.
There's probably like more than one person that did that.
Oh, I'm sure people did. Yeah.
And that's all the casino needs is just one person to come give us $20 in between each band.
Yeah.
And that's $20 we made that we wouldn't have made.
Yeah. But so I think it's beneficial to do it. And it is actually nice to be able to leave. Like, say there's a couple of bands out there that I would not want to see again, just because I don't enjoy them.
Interesting. Okay.
So like if we go to a show and say they're like the second band, during that band, I might go down to the casino floor, have fun for 40 minutes, and then go back upstairs.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. There's definitely a few bands we've seen that were like,
yeah,
we don't need to see that again.
Yeah.
If they're another opener, we'll watch it. If they are at a festival, we'll watch it. Mm-hmm. But I never thought about that. At a normal venue, you can't do that.
No.
And if
I mean,
you
you
do,
can kind of hang back or something,
Sure.
but you can't like.
But you're still there listening to the music.
Go have other entertainment. Yeah.
Right. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Huh. I think those same bands at this venue, I would leave.
Yeah.
The other thing you brought up that was interesting was down on the main gambling floor, they had different beer options, different alcohol options. They had a sign going up to the stage saying no alcohol beyond this point.
No outside alcohol.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah. Which I think they meant by outside alcohol, it means what you bought on the casino floor, you can't take up to the venue.
That's how I interpreted it too.
Yeah.
When you just said outside, I was like, oh, I guess you can't bring alcohol from your car, but then why are you allowed to bring that in through the doors? Yeah, I got you. So, okay, whatever. You go into the venue, and the alcohol options are different and not as good. You get like Coors Light and Trulies and shit like that. I do remember asking the first lady I went to, the first bartender I went to, and asked them like, is this all you have? Are there different options at other places or even out in that main concourse area? And she was like, I think they're all the same. They might have one other one. I was like, I'm going to go look. I left, went out there, same goddamn shit. One other one was the Heineken.
Oh.
And I was like, all right. So I walked right back in, walked over to her line. The other bartender at the other booth, like right next, had no line. I was like, I'm going to wait here and check this out. And stood in line for a little bit, got my drink. She handed it to me, card, cash, blah, blah, all that stuff, and went to go pay. And she's like, they have the same stuff out there? I was like, yep, same stuff. So she remembered, because it was only like 30 fucking seconds. But,
yeah.
That was kind of cool. But running out to the car real quick, getting back to that.
Okay.
I asked every single person when we got our wristbands, is there reentry? Yes. Scanned our ticket. Is there reentry? Yes. Because I didn't want it to be like, no, you can't do this. No, like one person says yes, one person says no, and then run into issues. Even when I left, I walked through the door and there was a security person there. I was like, is there reentry? She's like, oh yeah, you just got to come through this same door when you come in. And when we did our scanning ticket the second time to get through the actual doors, she said, you just have to scan out and then scan back in. It's like, all right, cool, we'll do that. So I asked like, where do I scan out? And she's like, oh, just give me your wrist. And she did a X. Like a UV light type X ink. Cool. Go down. As I go through the entrance that we came in to drop our car off, there was a fucking massive line of people waiting to get in. Like, so fucking big. And all there for the concert, too. I was like, shit, this is going to suck getting back in. Whatever. Run the stuff up, throw it in the car, the poster, the shirt. Come back down, stand at the end of the line. This time they had upped the age. It wasn't what year were you born. It was if you're over 40, come talk to me. I was like, shit.
Like you had to go through the other line?
You had to go through security. It's like, fuck, I'm almost there. So,
almost.
So
you could pass for 40.
So maybe. Standing in line, standing there waiting so fucking long. They ended up making two lines. There was the main line that you go down, and they opened this back room where they're funneling people in and doing ID checks there. We're waiting, and the security guy who was sort of like as the gatekeeper, like directing you what line to go to, was like, I'm not going to lie to you, to a group of guys standing next to me. If you go through that exit, turn left, and turn left again, and then walk like 500 feet, there's another entrance. And they're like, all right. So they turned around, and I turned around, and like 20 people left. Everybody else stood there. And we get over there, and sure enough, another entrance, nobody there, but one person checking IDs. And what they do is they take your ID out, they scan the back of it, they look at it, they look at you, and then they start asking you questions.
Oh.
What's your date of birth?
Probably to make sure you don't have a fake ID, I'm assuming.
What's your date of birth? What's your zip code? And it's different for every single person. What's your zip code? What city are you from? It's like stuff like that, where just making sure this is a real ID. So I hand him mine. Finally, I get in, hand him mine. He scans it, looks at it, looks at me. You're good. And just keep on going. like
you're fucking old. Like, you're not going to do a fake ID.
Who's going to lie about being 36? Made me smile, I guess. But the few guys in front of me, he was asking them, and it changed every time, like I said.
Yeah. I know when we first went in, I believe, so the guy was just asking the year of birth, or your date of birth, or not date of birth, but the year of birth. And so I'm pretty sure there was two guys in front of us, and then you and I, and one guy said 80, and then one guy said 86. You said 87. I'm 88. And he looked at me. He's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm sure."
Yeah, it did like work its way up. 86, 87, 88. He's like,
yeah. And I'm like, but I had my ID ready because I'm just, you and I both do this, but it's like, we know getting into any venue, most venues anyways, is like, you need your ticket, your ID, everything out of your pockets, all that shit. So I just had my ID ready. My, like my phone was in my hand, like all that stuff. Cause I was like, I don't know what's going to happen when. So I think I like had it and like kind of showed it, and he's like, just go on, like he believed me.
Yeah. I don't know if it was listed. I don't know if it was listed on the website or when you bought tickets or what, if this was a 21 plus show.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
It must have been, because I think you had to be 21 to gamble.
Yeah.
So
to get into the casino, you would have to be 21.
Right. And to get to the venue, then you have to go through the casino, obviously. Because I don't remember getting carded for beer, like alcohol,
Nothing.
when we got anything. Yeah. So that was nice, because otherwise, you're right. You need your ID because you're going to get your wristband.
So I did see people with pink wristbands, though. And I don't know if those were like possibly under 18, or under 21, I mean.
Yeah.
Like if you could get in. But how do you get into the casino, though?
Probably
with
that's it.
And then if they see you playing a game, then you're like,
if you stand next to a machine, if you sit at a machine, you are fucking out right away.
Yeah, I'm sure they tell them that.
Because that's the other thing I was talking about with like security. I'm like, this is probably the most secure venue we've ever been to, because as soon as you walk in, there's facial recognition scanners.
Yeah. Cameras everywhere.
Cameras watching every fucking step you make. Like, there's one time you were gambling and I was like, you want to spin? We both were, and it's like, I won the bonus game. I was like, do you want to play? You can spin. You're like, you're not allowed to do that.
I've just seen that people have gotten in trouble, but mainly in Vegas.
Okay.
But like, that if you like, say you're playing and then I sit down and like win or whatever, and I think it's all the tax shit.
Oh.
Like if we didn't win big, but if you would have won big, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But and I'm sure that's more Vegas than here. But I was just I like to follow rule. I'm a rule follower.
Yeah.
So.
But also getting in, waiting to get the elevator to go down from our parking spot, there were a few people who were coming into the casino who weren't there to see the concert. They were there to gamble. And they're like, I had to park on the 5th level. I never have to park up this high. There must be something going on tonight. And somebody's like, yeah, I think a concert. Oh, all right. Like just sort of passing.
Like if you're a regular at the casino. Yeah.
But yeah, then I finally got in the door real quick after I learned about that thing, and go up straight to the venue, go through this line. They had changed the lines around a little bit, so they were snaking people through this door, which my door was over here. So I just kind of like, I didn't really cut. There was a gap, so I just quickly stood in. And then the two guys in front of me turned to the left once they got up to the front, and like the security guy's like, guys, the door is, you have to scan in. And he's like, oh, because he knew like they had done the X thing too.
Yeah.
Came in, boom, do my hand thing, and then go get my beers, and found you. Because you were super excited to see this first band.
Yeah, I wanted to see Lorna Shore for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't really know anything about them. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's check it out.
Yeah.
But let's get in their set. This is a podcast about
music, not casinos.
Gambling.
Do you want to start a gambling podcast?
No, I do not.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't.
You give somebody else all your money.
Yeah, pretty much.
And every now and then they give you
pennies.
Less money. You give them $10 and they give you 50 cents.
And then it seems like you're winning because it's like, oh, I got to win.
Yep.
Anyways.
Lorna Shore set list. What do we have?
Yeah, so it was very short, but it started with Sun Eater, followed by Curse to Die, followed by Into the Earth, and then the final 3 are Pain Remains 1, Dancing Like Flames, Pain Remains 2, After All I've Done, I'll Disappear, and Pain Remains 3, In a Sea of Fire.
Yeah, so you said a short set, and sure, it was a short set, but it's the first opener.
Yeah.
So
I guess going in, I knew it was going to be a short set because the first opener normally gets like 25 to 30 minutes.
Which is what they got more or less, right?
Yeah.
So I was fine with the set length for a first opener for sure. I was happy with how good it was.
Oh, really?
Like I said, I went in knowing nothing about it, knowing how excited you were. I thought it was going to be like metalcore. I was like, fuck, more of
So
this.
do you like deathcore a little bit better than metalcore?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I was really happy with their set. There were moments where I didn't like it as much.
Oh, okay.
We talked a little bit about this, like the whole like I asked you, like, are they considered technical death metal or technical deathcore type thing? Because there were moments where it was the guitar work, the musical work is really, really good. But there's moments where you got this like really intricate like little solo thing going on, and then just on a dime, like the harsh boom, we're following this thread, and then stop, and then completely change threads. Like it was go harsh cut, go harsh cut, and like and maybe the harsh cut goes back to that first bit. I don't know.
Yeah. That
I wasn't a big fan of. That to me didn't flow that well. I like better flows.
Okay.
Harsh cuts are good. Don't get me wrong; they're fine from time to time. But that moment where it was like boom, boom, boom,
you didn't like that.
I did not like that bit. No.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I don't know their music that well, so I don't know. But
have you listened to them ever?
No, never.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I've listened to them, so you probably heard one song.
Possibly in passing. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I was super happy with it. A lot of fucking people were there and super fucking into this too.
Yeah. All
the people around us were like, holy shit, they're going to play this song. Holy shit, yeah. They were so pumped. It was fucking phenomenal to see.
Yeah.
The stage performance was awesome. They have that death metal logo going on, which is I love but hate. Like
you just can't read it.
You can't read it. This one's more legible than a lot of others.
Yeah. This is like trees.
I love that
spelling out their name.
Yeah, because the top is like the trees and the roots are the name spelling out, and then you have like this, like a beach type thing. I view it like walking through the trees into a lake. And
okay. Yeah.
But really cool logo. That typical like death metal logo type thing going on, but more legible than a lot of others out there.
Yeah.
And it just stayed with that logo, just black and white, very simple lighting effects, but really effective, and awesome energy from them and from the crowd. They even at one point brought that up of like, we're feeding off of you guys, so whatever you feel up here, and we said that a lot, it's cyclical. Yeah. Like the band feeds off you, you feed off the band, and
I think he even said like, I think he did like the whole like who's seen us before. Not very many people had.
Oh, I thought there were a number.
Well, I mean, a lot of people had, but I think more people were newer.
Okay.
Because he even said like, wow, like welcome to the family sort of thing. Like to everybody who didn't raise their hand or cheer or whatever. And then I think he was like, well, like you can sing along, you can bang your head. Like, even if you're just banging your head, that's when he went into the whole thing of like, well, we feed off of your energy, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked this. It was really good.
That's good. Because I've been really excited for this for like, I think for I don't even know how long we've had this tickets, like 4 months, maybe.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah. Like I think I knew they were on our schedule, but I was always like forgetting where on our schedule they were. And so I just always remember going back and being like, when are we seeing Lorna Shore? When are we seeing Lorna Shore? Like I knew it was coming up, but I just didn't know exactly when.
Yeah.
Actually, this show, I always forgot that we were seeing this show for some reason. But yeah, so.
All right, so.
With our logo.
We fucked up. We forgot to hit record. So.
So you probably just saw our logo for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, we're recording now. So if you're watching, awesome. If you're listening, nothing changed for you.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
This conversation, just ignore it. This little bit here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Goddamn. Fuck.
It's almost been a year. How did we fuck this up? Any hoodles.
What were you saying?
I was talking about how excited I was seeing.
Oh yeah.
To see them.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in the last week or 2 weeks, probably, I've listened to them when I'm like walking to work and stuff. And there's been a couple songs where I was like, I hope they open to this. And we don't look up set lists. I think everybody knows that by now if they know us. So we don't look up the set list. So I was like, I hope that they open to one of these two songs. And one of them was To the Hellfire or Sun Eater. And they did open to it. And the reason why I say both of those is because they both kind of start out with just melodic music going, and then it's like the harsh drop into the song. And so I was like, kind of like how we always talk about Memento Mori from Lamb of God, how it's like, oh my gosh, it's the perfect opening song. I had the same thought with Lorna Shore, where it's just like, one of these two songs would be perfect for the opening. And so like as soon as like the music started, I think I even turned to you, but I was like, I wanted to say so bad, like I knew they were going to open to this.
The couple guys beside me were talking as well, and I was getting a little frustrated because like, fuck, they're just going to talk the entire time, but they didn't. There was a few little back and forth, which is fine. I'm fine with that. The jabbering the entire fucking time, I'm not a fan of, but this was just like a little back and forth. But they said something like, you either open or close. And I thought they were talking about Lorna Shore, of being like, they're either an opening band or a closing band.
Oh, yeah.
As in like, they're going to get you pumped and energized, or it's the last band, so you're there to see them and you're pumped and energized already. But they could have been talking about Sun Eater, because once it came on, they're like, yes, it's Sun Eater. Yes, I knew it. Same thing you were doing, I think. So now looking back on it and based on what you just said, I think it was more of, what track are they going to open with?
Are they going to open with? Yeah. I was going to say, because they did just come off of a headlining tour in Europe,
did they?
Think. I don't know that. I mean, I don't like follow them too well, so that could be wrong. But I feel like we're getting to the point where we're following so many bands, it's hard to remember who's done what, or you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Yeah. So, but then so every song that they played is on their Pain Remains album, which they were also selling signed,
a signed version
at the show, which we did not pick up, but it seems like on eBay there's quite a lot of money for that album.
But you said it was the colored variant.
A colored variant, but then they also had a signed version
on
there.
Okay.
Yeah, so which is kind of weird, because you would think if you're going to the show you probably could get one. I don't know. Maybe just people on eBay want to get money, so
could be. And I know sometimes it's very limited numbers.
Maybe like at each show, you mean?
Yeah. Bloodywood, for instance, their 9 Inch Nons tour had a limited edition, I think like 100 copies for the entire show.
Oh, okay.
Or for the entire tour
of
that album, which was like a non, I think, was a picture disc. So you had, if you wanted, you had to get there early and get that.
Yeah.
So it could be something very similar there.
It could be. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We haven't done a 666 on this, but I think it's a good one. I'm fine with bands doing limited shit like that, as long as you have the normal album out there as well.
Oh yeah, like not like this is the only way you can buy this.
Yeah, I'll pay for a $25, like a $30, $40 black variant of the vinyl. But if you're gonna do these special colors or special one-offs, go ahead, charge more for that. But let me have the option to buy this.
Yeah.
Anywho, great fucking set. I had so much fun during this set for sure.
Okay.
What else did you want to say about it?
The one song that I did really, 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 really badly want to see live is Of the Abyss, and they didn't play that.
Yeah.
And that made me really, not sad, disappointed is more the way to put it. But I knew with an opening set that it was going to be really short. Well, short. It's a normal opening set, but it was going to be short. So I think immediately I was like, oh, well, we're going to have to see them again. Like, we're going to have to go to when they're headlining or when they're further up on the bill or something to see more. Because everything that they did play was from that one album. So, which is cool. I don't really know their albums too well. I don't listen to them by album.
Yeah.
It's more, I listen on Spotify.
And whatever comes
out, I listen to. I actually found them on like a deathcore playlist.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they sound amazing. Like every once in a while, like one will come on, like, and I don't know who it is. So then I'll either look on my watch or look on my phone to see who it is. And that they were one of them. And this is probably like 6 months ago, maybe. I mean, I haven't really listened to them that long, but I'm just trying to think of a time frame. I knew about them when we bought the tickets, so it was before that. So if we've had we've had the tickets for 3 or 4 months, it's probably 3 or 4 months before that I found them. So, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, it's just I don't listen to their albums, so I don't really know their discography or like their albums or anything. So, and I didn't know that like this album that came out or whatever. So, but
one other thing, I know I said I had nothing else, but there's one other little crowd interaction.
No, you're done.
One other crowd interaction banner that I liked.
Okay.
Where the lead singer gets up there and he's like, "We have merch. Go out there, buy our merch. If you don't buy our merch, Mastodon has shit, and so does Gojira. So go buy something, and if you don't, you're fucking dead to us." Something like jokingly like that. That was kind of fun.
But it is pretty much like, I mean, I think we have a whole thing on like tour merch or whatever. But like, I mean, bands survive off of merch sales.
A lot of bands,
you know, like they're, you know, and they've been around for a long. I didn't realize it. Like, I think I looked them up just yesterday. But like since like 2009.
I think that's what you said.
But like, so I mean, they've been around for a long time, and I feel it's weird to like find a new band, but it's like just new to you and not a new. I mean, they've been around forever, so. Yeah,
there's a lot of bands like that we've found that are like, oh, this is a new band to us, but it's really not a new band.
Yeah, and then it almost seems like, I mean, granted, not the core bands, because I just started getting into like the core genre of metal.
Metalcore, deathcore.
Yeah, like that sort of thing in the last year and a half, probably. But it's like all those bands, I'm just like, to me, they're new bands.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, they've been around for
you got to find
forever.
them sometime.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Of course. So, no, I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah.
I think
fun.
We've seen Mastodon and Gojira before, and I think I was most excited to see Lorna Shore.
Yeah, I
think
so. I know
even throughout the night, it changed. I mean,
yeah, I knew you going into Mastodon, you weren't super excited because we saw them once before, and that was we'll talk about that when we get to it, but that wasn't a good experience.
But we could talk about it.
And then Gojira, I like Gojira quite a bit.
Yeah, I like a few songs. Yeah.
But that's what you always say. Is like, I like a few songs, so I'll have fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, knowing that you were really into again, I thought it was a metalcore band going in. It's like, oh, well, yeah, no wonder she's super excited for this.
Yeah.
But it's more of a Whitechapel sound to it.
Yeah, like the harder stuff on Whitechapel, not like the melodic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. What else about Lorna Shore?
I just can't wait to see them again.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully. They need to tour more so that we can see them more.
After Lorna Shore, we get Mastodon. Why don't you start with the set list for that?
You're making me read everything? So they opened with The Wolf is Loose, followed by Crystal Skull, Megalodon, Divinations, Andromeda, followed by Sultan's Curse, Fallen Torches, Pushing the Tides, More Than I Could Chew, Aqua Dementia, Stream Breather, Iron Tusk, March of the Fine Arts, Mother Puncher, Circle of Sisquash, I think, Crusher Destroyer, and they ended on Blood and Thunder. And this was a co-headlining tour.
Yeah, so this is a proper
yes, I was going to say that.
Co-headliner set.
Like we saw a few weeks ago, we saw Ghost and Alma Marth.
Yep.
And Alma Marth played for like 47 minutes and 9 songs. And this, they played for probably an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes.
Thereabout, yeah.
And they played 17 songs. So that's what I would expect from a co-headliner.
Yeah, if it's going to be listed as a co-headliner for sure, that's what I would expect.
Was Ghost and Alma Marth not listed as a co-headliner?
See, it could have been wrong there. Maybe that wasn't supposed to be a co-headlining tour, but I always thought it was a co-headlining.
I mean, it makes sense. They're both headliners. So it'd be weird. It was just, we have a whole podcast on it. Let's not go into that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mastodon. What was our experience the last time we saw Mastodon?
Yeah, so last time we saw them was last year.
Was it last year?
It was.
Okay, that seems so long ago.
OTEP, them, and Chemist.
Chemist,
First time seeing Chemist.
Yeah.
And I knew of Mastodon, not like super in depth of their music, but I had listened to it, had heard it for sure, knew of their imagery and kind of what to expect going into their show in terms of like the backdrops and the lasers and shit like that and the lighting and whatnot. So I was like, this is going to be a good show to just go and sit back and relax and take some edibles. Like, this will be a good show to get high to and just enjoy the music, enjoy the imagery, all of that kind of stuff. Now, we didn't have seats. It was at the rave. Didn't have seats. We were standing in the floor, whatever. We both took an edible each.
Only one.
Only one. We had taken those same ones here at home and
been fine.
This one, though, it's weird that it hit both of us so hard.
Yeah. Like the same way.
Yeah. And it was a shit show. Not because Mastodon sucked. I enjoyed their set from what I remember. I did not like how I felt. It was not enjoyable at all.
I think especially at home, generally we're like sitting on the couch or sitting on the patio or something. So it's like more just sit back and relax. Where this was, we really had to focus on standing up. And I think we both at one point said that we had to go to the restroom, but we both were like, we probably can't walk straight to get to the restroom. I don't know. Like looking back on it, I'm like, were we really that high, or was it like a combination of things?
I don't know.
I don't drink, so I know I wasn't drinking with it.
I think I had a couple drinks before going over there. I honestly don't know. I've done edibles and smoked during like a Dead show, and it's perfectly fine during that. Like it suits that style of music, and I was standing for that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this one just hit so hard.
Yeah. And we do know about the whole batch thing and like how you could get some that has none or hardly any.
It's weird that like both of us had the same effect. I don't know. It was really weird. I did not enjoy that show at all.
All I remember from it, I remember the instrumentals from it, and I remember the imagery of like the eyes and everything like going in and out on the back. Yeah. Like the background. But otherwise, I don't remember singing, which is so funny because I think I said after we saw them, I'm like, oh, there's lots of vocals that I did not remember last time.
Yeah. So going into this, I was super excited because I was not going to be fucking doing any weed whatsoever.
Could you imagine if we did edibles and then gambled?
No, like this.
We'd have no money left.
It would not. Yeah, I don't know. So I was excited for this because it's like I'm going to go in not necessarily sober. I drank a little bit, but like I'll be on a drug I know how it works and how my body relates to it.
Yeah.
And something I can control a little bit better.
You've really noticed that about weed though, that like
I'm really not a fan of it.
It impacts you so much differently.
Yeah, I don't like weed. I'll do it from time to time, but a lot of times I'm not the biggest fan of it. No.
Anyways.
Yeah, different conversation. Yeah. But no, this experience was a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
I had so much more fun.
I enjoyed it. Yes, I enjoyed all of it, which I think, like I said last time, I was like, I'm a very big vocal person, and I was just like, I didn't like them. They have no vocals. They're just playing instruments. And you're like, no, there's singing. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I was like, I was there. There was no singing.
And the transitions back and forth. The drummer's singing.
Yes.
Then your bass is singing.
Yes.
Your guitar's singing.
Yeah.
Everybody's, it's...
And the vocals go with the music.
Yes.
I mean, like, we talked about this when we saw Chemist, where, like, the vocals go with the... Was it Chemist that we talked about that?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Whatever podcast was a few months ago. But, like, yeah. So, like, the vocals are part of the music.
Yep.
And I really picked up on that this time. But also, after... I mean, it's probably been a year since we saw them.
They're about somewhere in there, yeah.
But like my mindset on going into bands that I really don't know their music has changed so much in the last year. So I think that that's a big thing as well.
And then the imagery, the backdrops, like they just had LED screens, right? And it was like the eyeball that zooms in or out into a face that then zooms in and out of the eyeball, which is the same face, and just the repetitive. And then like the neon colors and just the color combinations that are used, tacked in with the lighting and then the laser effects.
I do remember the lasers from Aragon or Rave. Sorry, I keep saying the Aragon.
I remember that too because I remember looking behind at the ceiling where they were shooting, and they would like they'd draw out boxes.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, oh, that's kind of cool to see that happen. Not a whole lot of crowd interaction, but that was fine.
I remember people. I thought that there was.
There's a little bit, but most of it is we'll talk real briefly, and then we'll.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking how the crowd was reacting to the band, not crowd interaction. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a little bit of crowd interaction in between songs, but mostly not. Mostly it's flow into the next song, which is really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Dead and Company does this so fucking well, where we play a song and then we start going off into this little jammy thing, and then that jam leads into the next song where it's no dead silence at all, but we're out here playing and then we go into the next song. To me, these guys are basically the heavy metal version of Dead and Company in my mind, where the imagery, the sound, like how they approach it, it's so fucking good. I love these guys so much, especially from a live perspective. Even listening just to tracks on Spotify and when it's on shuffle and whatnot is a blast. But that live sort of presence, we mentioned this with Ghost. Like Ghost knows what they're doing because they understand it's a audio visual experience at a concert, and these guys are the exact same way. It's the audio. It's, as you said, the lyrics go well with the music. It's another layer on top of the music, and then on top of that, we have our visuals, our lighting, our trippy ass fucking screens that are doing weird ass things. And I don't know, I loved it. It was so much fun. One thing, this is our second time seeing them. We will see them again later this year, but I really want to hear them do Stairway to Heaven.
Oh,
they did a
cover. Did they cover that?
We've only seen them live twice. I don't know if they play that song live or not, but that's one I really, really, really want to hear.
Well, yeah, next time we see them, we might see multiple sets of theirs, so
yeah,
we could
possibly see it. Yeah.
Possibly see it, depending on how they do their sets.
Yeah. But that's the one thing I wish I want to hear that song live. Two other quick things real quick about their set. Before Lorna Shore went on, the imagery for this tour, the Mega Monsters tour, co-headlining show again. So you have on the posters, you have Gojira, Mastodon, and then you have two kaijus fighting over a city, like destroying the city. Really, really cool. They had their own kaiju monster guy come out. And
on the stage. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Really cool with like the colors of it too. Really like those neon weird like it fit really well and it was really cool. I was not expecting to see the kaiju come out.
Yeah, I kind of liked it because the monster just like walks out and like kind of just looks, and then walks over a little bit and then looks. And like, part of me is like, I want to be a mascot for a band where I can just like, or I mean, like when we saw Alma Marth, they have like a mascot, or they have Loki that comes out and stuff.
Loki, and then they have the fighters.
The fighters, yeah. Well, the fighters are a little bit different in my mind, but like, because Loki, you don't see like the face and stuff. So, but it's like
you have Eddie
too, yeah. But like, what I was gonna say with like Loki is like the, he's like moving around and stuff like that. Where this monster is just like,
he's just walking. It's got to be somebody on like stilts. They look really tall or something. So maybe there's not a whole lot. But I mean, like Eddie, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how
it could just be like the whole like, oh fuck, where did I walk into? Oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah, or like how well can you see through
that too?
The suit? Yeah.
But it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then like the last thing, like I said, not a whole lot of crowd interaction until the show got over.
Oh yeah.
And then we're gonna come out. We're gonna talk a lot. They basically were like, we come to Chicago all the time. I know we're not in Chicago, which I know frustrates you sometimes a lot when you go to like Tinley Park and you're like, hello, Chicago. And you're like, this is Tinley Park. This is not Chicago.
Yeah.
Did you get upset here where they're like, hello, Chicago, or kept referring to the area of Chicago?
A little bit.
I did. It actually made me happier because it's like,
fuck Indiana. You're in Chicago.
A, you're not in Chicago. B, you're in a completely different state. But yeah, you're basically in the south suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
More or less.
I mean, yeah, granted, you drive over. Is it the first exit after the border?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's like super close.
But they like even called that out. Like, we're not in Chicago. We know we come to the Chicagoland area a lot. We've been doing it for like the last 24, 30 years or whatever they said.
Yeah.
We love you guys. You always bring it. You always give us an awesome show. Thanks so much. And then other kind of like little banter. He also brought up the kaiju as well. I was like, "Did you see that monster? No, you missed it. You should have been paying attention."
Like you weren't on your phone or something.
Yeah, so I can't remember what he said. But yeah, it was a much, much, much better experience this time seeing them.
Yeah, 100%. I like the music so much better this time. And even like when they played, I mean, they ended with Blood and Thunder, and I think that's what they ended with at
That's like their main,
Milwaukee. But it's like, that's the one song that I remember you listening to a couple years ago, like when you started listening to Mastodon. And it's, so I'm always that person that's like, if I know a song, I get more excited than if I'm just like sitting and listening to a song. So I know when it came on, I like kind of like was like, hey. Yep. And you're probably like, yeah, I knew they were going to play this. But
yeah. I know I said last thing. I've been saying that a lot this episode, but
and your conversation.
One other thing. We did go out to the bathroom during Gojira, and we were sitting in those seats for a little bit because they have these nice little plush seats.
Yeah.
And this couple comes out and they sit next to us, or sit next to me. You were in the bathroom or something still, and start talking to them. And they're like, "So you're not a fan of Gojira either?" It's like, "Oh no, I like Gojira. I'm just going to the bathroom." And he's like, "Oh, we've seen them a couple times already because they like did a tour or something."
Oh, okay.
And they're like, "This is our first time seeing Mastodon." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what'd you think? That was awesome." He's like, "I couldn't keep my eyes off the fucking screens. Those things are so cool."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, the first time we went, we took some edibles, and it was not a good experience." And he's like, "Yeah, we took some mushrooms before the show." And I was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Yeah, it was awesome." So again, that sounds like a fun experience. I might want to try that. We really didn't talk about the venue and the setup of the venue.
The venue,
right? Because that's the name of it. See, it's
confusing. That hard for you?
It's very confusing. Anywho, didn't really talk about it. Like we said, you go through that security check. You're in this back little walkway thing.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right, but I'm redoing it with the bathrooms and
the
merch and the concessions. And then there's entries on either side, which are basically on stage left and stage right. So you can go through there, and then there's a little walkway that goes up to this balcony thing. Yeah, so kind of cool. And apparently it looked like there was like folding gym stadium seating that would roll out because this venue is used for other things in concerts like comedy acts, magical acts, and shit like that. So a multi-purpose venue, really kind of cool. We hung out a little bit after the show, talked to one of the workers while they were tearing down, and like, "Yeah, this is an awesome place. We've never been here." And he's like, "Yeah, no, it's really cool. On really stormy, windy days, and like especially in the winter, you might not know this, we're actually on a boat. And you mentioned that when we came up. You're like, is this a river boat?" I was like, "No, it's not. Apparently it is." And he's like, "You can see the whole thing like shake as it's stormy." He's even like, "We have motors on this thing, and we used to have a captain that would take us off the shore into the river every now and then.
That'd be really cool.
And then bring us back in."
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think taking shrooms and sitting in those balcony seats for Mastodon would be a lot of fun.
I think that would be a lot of fun if you could just sit and let it do its thing and not stand and
see. And that was the thing. Like,
do that whole thing.
And then somehow it hit us way too hard. Yeah. But I get where those fans were coming from.
And get a hotel room.
Yes, that too. I get where they were coming from in terms of like what experience they were looking for, and it sounds like they got it. They had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I could see why that's enjoyable, and I want to try it for sure sometime. It was a great set. I had a lot more fun this time than I did the first time. I would love to see them again, and when they come back around, I think I will check them out again.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like you said, we're going to see them again.
Later this year, we will, yeah. So yeah, that was Mastodon. Anything else you have about them?
Nope.
Cool. Let's jump into Gojira.
Hey, Brian, what's the set list for Gojira?
The set list for Gojira, we have Born for One Thing, Backbone, Stranded, Flying Wells, The Cell, The Art of Dying, a drum solo, Grind, Another World, Silvera, Amazonia, The Chant, The Gift of Guilt. Yeah, again, we've seen them twice now.
Has it been twice?
We saw them at Knotfest 2019.
Yep.
Saw them at Linefest, Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we listened to them.
We listened to them. We were in line.
That's when Randy came out and sung with them.
Yeah.
We really disappointed we missed that.
Yeah, I wish we would have saw that. We should just dehydrate ourselves that day and not stood in line.
Sure. I don't know.
Anyways.
Not about that. So maybe this was just our second time seeing them.
Second time actually seeing them, yeah.
Yeah. This was a great set.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it way more than when we saw them in 2019.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember 2019, we were pretty close to the stage for Slipknot.
Yep.
Because it was, who opened?
Behemoth, Gojira, Volbeat.
Then we left to go to the restroom, came back in the middle of Volbeat because
all that
lines.
Shit.
And then we saw Slipknot. But we were really pretty close to the stage for Gojira. But I don't remember, maybe it's just I don't remember the set, but like I said, that prior to the last year, like if I didn't know the music, I really wasn't into it. So maybe that's why I don't remember much of it. But
I think so. I remember Flying Whales for sure. And the only other thing I remember was we're French. Thanks for giving us frogs a chance. Something like that.
Yeah.
And to some extent, like even Mastodon, when they're doing that crowd interaction at the end, they're like, you ready for Gojira? They're French. They're not weird. They're just like us. You're going to enjoy it. So I don't get why they're playing up this French thing so much. I know in the early 2000s, there was the whole freedom fry bullshit going on.
Yeah.
Because I guess they didn't want to fight in an unjust war. So we hated France.
Or do people just not like French people?
I don't know what it is, but there's...
I guess we have nothing against French people, so we don't know what's the whole French thing is.
But if you told me there's people who hate French people or France in the early 2000s, I wouldn't say, oh, I agree with that. I would say, oh, I know why those people are wrong, but I know why they feel this way. It's 2020. I don't understand it still today if that's what...
2023.
But that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
2020.
Okay.
20 years later, I thought we were over this. I thought we realized we were stupid back then. So I don't know, but once again, I'm not French. I don't know. So maybe as a French person, they have that sort of like, we feel this way. The Americans think this way about us type thing. I don't know. I thought it was odd when we heard it in 2019. I still think it's odd that it's still sort of like played up a little bit, but whatever. I thought it was sweet to learn that there's a French band out there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's also the thing is, we personally don't know of any other French metal bands.
And that's the thing too. Like a lot of bands, unless they're non-English speaking, I automatically assume they're American bands.
Yeah, maybe.
Either that or Swedish.
Or Swedish, yeah.
Because now it seems like everything is coming out of Sweden.
Yeah.
So,
or has been coming out of Sweden. We're just finding them.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Learning then that they are French would be awesome if they do a song all in French. Yeah. I want more bands to do non-English songs.
Yeah, like native language songs.
Rammstein does this, and they're very successful. Maybe back in the day that was very unique that you can't be a non-English band and be successful in America. But just throw one track. Maybe there is one out there that I don't know about. I don't know their discography,
but they don't play it.
But in any case, those are the two things I remember from Knotfest. Coming into this show, I had a blast. This was a fun,
it was a lot of fun.
Set.
Yeah.
The imagery coming out right away was just black and white, just like white lights, and they're wearing black shirts.
I was like, "What imagery are you talking about?"
But the effect of it was everything just felt black and white.
Okay.
Even just watching it out of my eyes, like everything was just like a black and white screen in my mind. I thought that was awesome. And I was like, this is so fucking simple and such a good effect to do. Later on, especially with Another World, the backdrop changed a little bit
and
became more of those cool color combinations.
That's the one with the spaceship, right? Like where they're like astronauts flying to another world.
Yeah, I missed the beginning of that. If they left Earth to go find another world and then came back to a planet that was so lush with trees and vegetation, and to find out that, oh, that's the Eiffel Tower. Like everybody died, now that nature took back over. A very Planet of the Apes type reveal at the end,
sure.
right?
I don't know. I haven't seen Planet of the Apes, I don't think.
Same thing. They escape the apes. And they go on the beach and they find Lady Liberty. What the fuck's her name?
Statue of Liberty?
Yeah. In the sand, just poking her head up with her with her thing. Any case, that was kind of cool to see. Other than that, the effects were, like I said, very simple. They had some pyro. Both bands, Mastodon and Gojira had pyro.
That's what I was like. Oh, we're not in Chicago.
Yes.
Because you can have pyro.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Great fucking set. The drum solo was awesome, where he's up there just drumming away.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've seen that on Instagram. I didn't know.
Oh, have you?
That was like from this. I don't know if it was from this tour or if they do it a lot. I mean, if they've done it a lot, but yeah, unfortunately, I saw that. So then I wasn't as. It was funny, but you can explain it.
Because, yeah, he's drumming away, and he'll stop and let the crowd cheer. And the crowd doesn't cheer, or they cheer very quietly. So he reaches behind him and pulls up this giant poster that's like, I can't fucking hear you, or something along those lines. And then the crowd cheers louder. And he'll go up there and do another little drum bit, reach back, or the crowd will cheer, reach back, and it's like, fuck yeah. Made me smile. I enjoyed that bit a lot. It did also make me think, we don't see many drum solos anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Slipknot, you always got it with Joey.
Yeah.
And then no more Joey, no more drum solo. They don't do really that anymore.
Doesn't Disturbed do a drum solo?
Do they? I think they do. Yeah. At Hogfest, it was Star Wars Day, so he had the Boba Fett mask on. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think, like, when else do we see a drum
Metallica
solo?
doesn't do a drum solo. You don't get many drum solos anymore. I remember, maybe it was my first two concerts. Motley Crue, Tommy does a drum solo. Slipknot, right after that, you get a drum solo. So, I don't know. You don't get many drum solos. So that was really cool to see that.
Most of the time it's like the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Avatar, they do a drum solo too. I forgot about that.
I was just thinking that they do it. I think a lot more do it. Probably we just don't notice it as much. Yeah.
I don't know. Great time. I remember after the drum solo, a security guard walks over to us.
Yeah.
And he's got like a set list in his hand.
Yeah.
And I saw a bunch of people. It must have been part of the VIP package, but they also had printed out set lists.
Oh, okay.
So the security guard was walking around. I thought he just had extras. That he's just like walking around and handing them off to people. So he like walks over to us and he's like, and he shows me the set list and I was like, oh shit, is he giving me a set list? That's awesome. That's cool. And he's like, where are we? It's like, what do you mean? We're here at the venue.
Yeah.
No. Like, where are we? And I was like, I don't understand the question. He's like,
yeah. And then he shows it to me and I like my eyes weren't focusing to even read. And then he says like, you don't know their songs? And I was just like, no.
And that's the other thing too. I don't know their songs super, super well. I really like listening to them. It always, like when I have shuffle on it, they always pop up and I'm always like, oh shit, that's Gojira. This is awesome. I love this song.
But it's always Stranded. That's the only song I ever hear on shuffle. Yeah.
It's been a lot more for me lately.
Yeah.
But the guy next to us is like, it's right after the drum solo. And he looks at it again. He doesn't see it. And the guy looks and he's like, oh, it's right here. It's grind. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just walks away. I think he was trying to figure out like, how much longer do I have to be here for?
Yeah. I want to fucking go home.
And that's mean to say about, I guess, a little bit of the security, like, I don't want to be here anymore type thing. Maybe he was also just trying to like get a gauge for what time it was and where we are in it. I will say this, in between Mastodon and Gojira, they have, on the floor, they had these little square, and this is talking about the venue, they have these like little square cardboard boxes to throw your cans in, which is nice. A lot of people, just throw their shit into the crowd, which is fuck those people, I guess. And then you step on it, blah, 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 all that. But they had little things that were filled up. Somehow, this one got like tipped over and like the cans were all over the place. The liquid was all over the floor. And we've seen stuff like this. I think the one that it reminds me of a lot is Milwaukee Metal Fest, where people were in the pit doing the pit thing, and then they got done, time to change over the sets. The people in the pit then grabbed an empty trash bag. They went back to like one of the bars, grabbed an empty trash bag, and cleaned up the fucking floor because they're like, we're going to be pitting all day. We don't want to be stepping on this stuff and injuring ourselves. So we're going to clean up after all of you assholes, which was awesome to see from like a community perspective. Here, when it got tipped over, 10 workers, 10 staff members showed out of nowhere and started cleaning all of that up. And they brought like a mop out and mopped it. And then there was another guy who brought paper towels out, and they were all taking the paper towels and just cleaning up the floor. I had never seen a venue clean up the floor in the middle of a set.
Oh, it wasn't in the middle of the set, but it was between sets. Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, normally they would just be like, whatever, we'll do it afterwards. Yeah.
And I was like, I have never seen this end so quickly and effectively.
Yeah.
I loved this venue. This venue was so much fun.
Yeah.
Talking about sort of the stage setup of the venue, it reminded me a lot of Mission Ballroom in Denver.
Oh yeah. You said that. Yeah. And I wouldn't agree from the stage setup perspective, but I think you were saying more like where like the bathrooms and the merch and stuff were like behind the stage
in that like little oval-y thing. Yeah.
But the stage setup I wouldn't compare it to.
No, but that setup of like stage, floor, wall, and then merch and vendors and whatnot. Awesome time. Gojira put on a great set. I was very happy with it.
Like I said, I enjoyed it way more than when we saw them in 2019 and 2021 when we saw them in Line Fest. I don't even remember because we were in line.
Simple effects, just lighting and a little bit of pyro, like was so effective.
Oh, there was more because they had like the papers that came out, and then they had the streamers.
Yeah.
And then they had the fireworks thing.
At the end, they definitely had more, like you said, the paper, the streamer, and then the like little sparkler firework thing going straight down.
Are those not fireworks?
I wouldn't call them fireworks, but I don't know. Like
I don't know what they are.
I don't know what they are either.
The streaming fire. Raining fire.
Raining fire, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was one song at the very end, and that was it. Other than that, it was just simple lighting, smoke effects. I guess you had like the smoke cannons that went up, but lighting and smoke effects, and very effective with just those things. Really cool to see. Like very clean and simple. It fit the music. It fit the vibe very well.
Yep, I would agree.
Anything else about Gojira?
No, I don't think so. I mean, sorry, I don't have anything.
No, it's
like
good.
Any descriptions or anything.
I thought it was great.
I feel like you're way more better at remembering things than I am. So like you're way more descriptive, where I'm just like, I was there.
You had a good time.
I did have a good time. Yeah,
so you'll go see him again.
I know when we first started doing the podcast, I was really big on, I want to take notes and like remember things and like go over like this happened. That just got way too much. And I'm like, I wasn't enjoying going to so many shows. So then I'm like, whatever. Like we'll talk about what we can talk about, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, this song they did this song they did this song they did this.
Yeah. So it got over. We left the venue and went down to the main floor, and hopefully they had food, and they did.
Yeah.
And this time we got the pizza.
Yeah.
They had a pizza and the burger and everything else at the burger place. I think those were the only ones open. And ice cream. Ice cream was open too.
Ice cream, yeah, which we didn't see. Which I don't think I'd want ice cream before a concert.
Or after.
No.
But we got the pizza. The pizza was so much better.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like the best pizza in the world.
No.
But
it's better than mall pizza. And I love mall pizza.
You think it's better than mall pizza? I would think. Oh, okay. I think it would be like almost similar. But it was much better than the burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go and don't want the steakhouse or whatever this new place is going to be, the pizza's pretty good.
Yeah. And it's fast.
Yeah.
Ish. We had some issues, but
yeah, it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah.
And then we played a few more games, and then left. I think your thought was, let's avoid the crowd of everybody leaving and just get some food and play a few games. I think a lot of people had that same mindset.
Yeah. A lot of people were still there. Yeah.
Around.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got another drink and then some food, and it was a good time. All in all, from start to finish, this was a phenomenal show and phenomenal experience.
Yeah. I like the whole casino aspect of it, mainly just because like before the show you have entertainment, after the show you have entertainment. It's not like, oh, you're now on the sidewalk and now you have to figure out how to get home. Yep. Or you have to walk to a bar, or you have to do something. Like it's
all right here.
It's all right there.
Thing.
Yep. And you don't have to worry about, I mean, in reality you could get a hotel room there and then just be like, everything's right here. So wait, was there a hotel there?
Yeah, there was.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. Yeah,
okay.
There must have been. You always have a hotel attached to those things.
Okay.
Probably. But anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
Great experience. First time there. Definitely checking this out for more shows because it's so easy to get
to. It's so, like for us, where we are located, it was easy to get to. Yeah. Like, and coming home, man, it was.
Yeah, so quick.
So quick coming home, so.
In any case, as Gojira said during the concert, go out, support live music.
Yes.
It's so fucking awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, go out there, check out some live music.
Yep. Bye.